1-800-409-5633.
Friday, we're going to be able to play a best of. You can watch the live streaming video over at Infowars.com. My upcoming film, Fabled Enemies, and it's for Planet.tv. First from the bunker here in Austin, Texas. So I want to play trailer 2 right now from that. And talk about participation in the film. Some American terrorism investigators here certain suspects in the September 11th attack. And all the U.S.
I will defer to the Department of Justice and the FBI. Normal phones without generating a record of it. It quickly unraveled to be the largest foreign firing ever uncovered inside the United States. The largest. Documents say they, quote, targeted and penetrated military bases, the DEA, beyond, and dozens of there's the relationship between the United States of America and the individual. What about this question of advancing? What's going to happen on the moon? I think there's a lot of high quality at PhysicsPlanet.tv will probably be dropping somewhere late afternoon. Mike, why don't you tell people about your interview yourself where I wrote the questions down, but your participation in it and the topics that we discussed.
Basically, one of the problems with living out here in Hawaii, and I know it's going to come across as very kind of weird to people that I would have a complaint about living out here in Hawaii, but we are very far from the mainland. It makes it very difficult to get over there to attend public events and to be interviewed. So what we generally do is, again, as you indicated, we wrote out the questions. I set up my own camera and in my living room and basically shot myself responding to the questions. And you did a masterful job of editing it all together. It leaves out all the fancy comments and lose my place in the script.
The magic of Final Cut.
Yes, absolutely. The ultimate issue, though, is that this is, a huge scandal, and because of what you were saying before, the mainstream corporate media has lost the battle for the minds of America. The high ground is now on the internet and alternative media. Because of that, people are understanding, first of all, that there is something that needs to be looked into there that we already know we were lied into the war in Iraq. And now we're going to say, what else have we been lied to about? And they're willing to accept that they've been lied to about a lot of things. They're willing to accept that the government spends huge amounts of money to deceive them. And I want to kind of get back to what's going on in Denver right now, because this whole Recreate 68 group is supposed to be, coming back from, Chicago 7 and the 68 Democratic Convention, and that may be more appropriate a name than they want to let on, because what most people don't know is that Ray Davis, Tom Hayden, and the others who became the 7 were being funded by federal money. It was channeled about $192,000 in federal money, $85,000 from the Carnegie Foundation, acting as a conduit for CIA. It was all run through a front group called the Chicago City Health Organization. And basically, these radical, violent groups are creations of the government that are used to justify, first of all, marginalizing dissent, and eventually, increase police presence and crackdowns, on those darn dirty hippies, to quote Ronald Reagan. listen to this broadcast. Yes, the FBI has informants on every college campus in America. And using those informants back in the 60s, they organized a multi-campus peace march against the Vietnam War, ostensibly to take place in front of the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim. Once the march was underway, the organizers, again, the FBI undercover informants, got everybody cranked up and angry and said they're throwing us with so inside, left the turnstiles, went into the Disneyland park, caused a lot of property damage. The newspapers were there taking pictures of it. The National Guard showed up. The next day it was on every newspaper in America how those darn peace marchers had crashed Disneyland. Totally discredited the anti-war movement and allowed the Vietnam War to continue for another 2 years. 60,000 Americans dead. Complete military political disaster. All on orders from the Nixon White House and carried out by the FBI. And they're still playing the same dirty games today.
I have to agree with you there, and I think that the only reason that they didn't get massive there under the 33868 guide is because of the work that Jonathan Alanoff over at Texe, Colorado did. Because of the work that Alex Jones did, exposing them so that they were kind of marginalized. Instead of thousands, there were hundreds. But that doesn't stop Fox News for showing the 100 protesters that got arrested, for showing their gross tactics, where they're, actually, we've got one, we can't play it here, but Greg Wilkins and Fox News actually trying to interview some of these people on here, physically assaulted. The cameraman is physically assaulted, pushed out of the crowd. So is the anchor. This makes us look like animals. This makes the true voices on the real issues look like they don't matter, and the people that are for these issues are just crazy. And that's what we want to put forth for the American people.
Well, I think the bottom line is it worked back in the 1960s. Is it going to work today? I don't think so. As you said, they didn't get the crowd there they wanted to get, and Fox News can put this on the air, but it doesn't mean anybody's watching. We already know that Fox News viewership is in decline, the major newspaper readership is in decline, the audiences are coming over to your show, my show, your website, my website. Our numbers are continuing to decline at a time when most big city newspapers are having to let staff go. So the bottom line is they're still playing the games by the rules that worked back at the height of the Cold War, before there was an internet, and they don't get it. That they're dealing with a population that is far more sophisticated, far more educated, far more suspicious and skeptical than was the norm back in the 1950s and 60s. And even this stupid attempt to bring back the Cold War by demonizing Russia is not getting any traction today.
Absolutely, and all the papers are still saying that Russia is the aggressor, the bear is back, and that poor little Georgia, when we in fact know that, U.S. and Israeli special forces were in Georgia for quote-unquote drills, they were moving in all this equipment, and then they attacked South Ossetia, and the Russians come in to basically stop the ethnic cleansing. They actually get a 12-year-old American girl from San Francisco out of there. She goes on Fox News, she lets the cat out of the bag, and then the next day I watched Sasha Zealy on Glenn Beck, the standard double-speak, even talking about double-speak and Orwellian and double-think, but then he really shows his true colors in the final segment when he relays that he's part of the New World Order by that verbiage. He says, this is not the first future of Europe, this is about the future of the New World Order, and Russia doesn't want that. So Sasha Zealy is under their thumb. I mean, for instance, he's been trying to get us to NATO. He sent the third largest amount of troops into Iraq for our benefit, something like 3,000 troops out there. So, I mean, it's a very thin veil that is being exposed because of sites like yours and ours.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's interesting. Just today, the U.S. government has announced they will rebuild the military. And that's basically an admission that this whole war was our idea to begin with, because we're going to go in there and use taxpayer dollars.
Take a few callers. Let's go to Thorne in Colorado. Thorne, something for Mike and myself?
Everything that all you guys are doing out there, it's up to 10, brothers. This goes down to the Knoxville community. We've got, 6 servers.